The blue planet, the lifeful place invigorated by humans and their creations. Vegetable is an essential source of vitamins and minerals for human bodies. Through agriculture, humans are able to feed themselves by working with nature and reshaping it in return. In the interactions between the two, magic happens. When an unsung hero scattered a grain of salt, in the hand of the wise, nature gives us back a gift that has endured through time. The birth of pickled vegetables, fulfilling humans' appetite while providing nutrients for life. In the southeastern part of China, between the Tibetan Plateau and the middle lower Yangtze Plain, there's a place known as the Land of Abundance, Sichuan, whose subtropical climate makes it ideal for the fermentation of pao cai, the fermented pickles.
来，收菜，3人爱吃的回锅肉。
Wang Jiachang, a traditional Sichuan cuisine chef, runs 16 restaurants in the city of Chengdu. As one of the 8 major cuisines of China, Sichuan cuisine uses pao cai in over half of its recipes. Be it any forms or shapes, pao cai is versatile with the food, and hence the name Bone of Sichuan cuisine.
要得，老板，买点。
Wang's friend has settled in a foreign country for many years and is coming back to town for a visit. His friend asks him to bring some homemade Sichuan pao cai when he comes back.
谁啊？啊，做泡菜呀？四川泡菜，四川的酸海椒儿、泡豇豆、枝姜、白菜，随到哪个季节，它都能泡。有老泡菜和跳水泡菜。老泡菜因为泡菜能泡3年5年，如果3年5年抓起来脆，那你们家第一。四川人说的，看他家人好不好，就看他们家泡菜。所以你看，我们回家的时候，妈抓个酸海椒儿，抓点枝姜儿，连起就吃了。说泡菜是我们四川人的骨子里透露出灵魂里面的热爱。
Records about Sichuan pao cai can be found in many ancient Chinese historic books, the earliest of which can be traced back to the Three Kingdoms period over 1800 years ago. Bamboo shoot, carrot, cucumber, stem ginger, all kinds of vegetables. Sichuan locals are versatile with the pickles. Ingredients mix and blend without losing its flavor. As the salted water is what savors it all.
像我们说的，出门在外，回家第一个先门一打开，先看自己坛子，抬盐水有没有。从我们的婆婆、我们的爷爷传到我们爸爸，传到我们妈妈，再传到孙子。一坛老盐水传居百年，什么东西能传接百年？就这个坛子啊，这个泡菜啊。所以说，泡菜在，家就在。
Salt kills bacteria. Peppercorn enriches the flavor. With salted water, sugars in the vegetables convert to lactic acid, creating the signature sourish, spicy flavor. Simple as it seems, the art of making pao cai is a time-honored craft. world we live in is immense, and the realm of pickles is boundless. Schleswig-Holstein, Germany's northernmost state, is one of the few states that lies close to the sea. The flat, fertile farmland and temperate maritime climate here have created the largest cabbage base in Europe. Sauerkraut, made from pickled cabbage, has been a local food staple since the 13th century. Daniel Liebsler from Germany has been living in China for 25 years. Now he is an executive chef of a restaurant in Beijing.
Morning. Also this one. Thank you.
In German cuisine, sausage and fried ham hock are the symbols. Germans are renowned for their love of pork. On average, each German consumes 66 kilograms of pork annually. The pork can be prepared in many different ways, but never without the sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut is very good actually for your digestion. It has the lactic acid bacterials inside. If you have a heavy fat pork dish, and usually pork is quite fatty, acidity helps you to digest the heavy pork meat, and therefore is really a good match, pork and sauerkraut. Hey, good afternoon, ladies. Are you enjoying? Everything is okay?
Yeah, good. How to say this in German?
This is sauerkraut. Yes, famous German sauerkraut.
Nowadays, sauerkraut is mainly served as a side dish. However, before the Industrial Revolution, it was a source of nutrition. In the 18th century, it was a superfood for German sailors, as it provided vitamins to prevent them from getting scurvy on long voyages.
Hey, hello Peter. Welcome, welcome. Wow, that looks amazing. Let me help you.
In a month, there will be an Oktoberfest organized by the restaurant. Daniel is preparing food for the upcoming feast, which includes the very dish, sauerkraut. To ensure the quality, he needs to pick the most suitable cabbage.
In Germany we have many kales. I think roughly estimated for sure over 20 kind of cabbages. And Germans love cabbage. They love fresh cooked cabbage or pickled cabbage like sauerkraut. According to the history, it's based more than 2,000 years ago in China, in northeast China. And then it was brought to Europe. Most of the farm vegetables we had throughout the year and throughout the winter was cabbage. So this was the only vegetable available for the rough times, for the winter times, to conserve, to preserve the foods are. And during this time, making sauerkraut or pickled cabbage was invented.
The method to make sauerkraut is slightly different than that of Sichuan Pao Cai, yet the principle remains the same. Salt prevents microbial spoilage. And sugar is converted to lactic acid. Apple cider vinegar will not only add crunchiness to the food, but react with other materials, creating an aroma compound that enriches the flavor of sauerkraut. Stelios from Greece has been living in China for 12 years. Today he is inviting some friends over for a dinner. Stelios is a fan of pickles and has taught himself to make all kinds.
I think there's a lot of delicious pickles. You can find many ways to introduce them into your diet and to pair them with food that you're already. So in the cheese sauce we put the pickled red chilies and green chilies. For that food, I think it is common in Greece to put chilies, but they might put dry chilies or just chili powder. I think it tastes even better if we put pickled chilies because it gives that sour taste. So I think the sour taste of the pickles together with the sour taste from the cheese and the salty taste of the cheese are a very nice combination. The lamb is quite a fatty meat. It has a lot of fat and oil, so you need something a little bit sour to contrast that. So the pickled ginger, I think, is a good combination. I think it's also helping to make that contrast of the sour and the oily, and helps that your mouth doesn't get overwhelmed with too much oil.
The magic of pickles lies in their flexibility. As food across the world blends with pickles, we realize the world shares more similarities than differences. After 2 weeks, Wang finally meets his friends. It's time for unsealing the Pao Cai. Fresh out of the jar, the Pao Cai is working its magic with the pickle juice. As acid substances get quickly released, unpleasant fishy smells disappear in the reaction. While the fish is simmered in the wok, it gets more tender and crunchy with the sour and spicy Pao Cai.
泡菜预好了哦，这个自家的泡菜哦，来来来，大家动手啊！
What Sichuan locals love about Pao Cai is that it can not only work with different flavors, but also go solo.
哎呀，太爽了！欢迎回家啊！
For people living away from home, it is the cure to homesickness and a symbol of friendship. After a month, Daniel's sauerkraut is finally ready. With his friends, he will share his hometown specialty, which he learned from his grandmother, the sauerkraut pork pot.
The best chef in my family was my grandmother, definitely. She was a passionate chef for the whole family, and one of her dishes was the so-called Schlachtplatte. It's a big pot where you have cabbage inside, you have your pork knuckle inside, you have your smoked ham inside, you have your blood sausage inside.
As protein degrades, aroma substance, glutamate, gets released in the hour-long stew. The pork fat slowly soaks into each shred of vegetable under the heat. This complementary combination is similar to the northern Chinese dish, meat with pickled cabbage.
I was once in Dongbei and I ate the pork with the sour cabbage, and the flavor was very, very same. So having my home food makes me happy outside, and the more authentic it is, the more happy I am.
The traditional family dish for Daniel brings a connection between two cities 8,000 kilometers away. Perhaps this is what tradition is for. Where there is food, there is home. For millennia, people find home in places where they work hard, making use of what nature gifts back with gratitude. Pickled vegetables reflect the diversity of the world's food culture. If you take a look at the history, you will find humans have always been on the same page.